welcome back to the Ranagade show, powered by the one and only Shine and Jam. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get right, get with the winning team. With my forever partner, America.
Glad to be back.
Hell yeah, we missed you last 2 episodes. You wasn't here. But we were dealing with Bubba June getting all the way right.
That's right. All
And,
good.
You know
All
what I'm
is
saying?
good.
Yep. Kicking ass. You feel me? Just like a true gangster would. That's it. So, in case anybody was wondering, he's doing amazing. So, shout outs to God and the prayer warriors, and then also my dad just being a resilient monster.
And UCLA. They were
And
amazing,
oh
amazing
my
people.
God, shout outs to the UCLA team. Shout outs to the UCLA team. Gee, ooh, I don't think I ever. Okay, if you would have asked me a year ago, do I have a favorite medical facility, I wouldn't even have an answer for you. But right now, if anybody I knew had a family member that was dealing with some sort of actual issue, I would say UCLA or nothing. Or someone exactly like them.
Right.
That's the standard.
Right.
That's the standard. That is the standard of your loved one needing to be.
Well, it's like the research along with like the medical care. Like they're like so advanced. So.
I love y'all, UCLA. Shout outs. Big shout outs. So we're back, powered by Shine and Jam. Still to this day.
So happy belated 420 to everyone.
Oh, yeah. Shout outs. Happy holidays. Oh, I decided it's not happy 420. It should be Merry 420.
Because of Mary Jane.
Hello.
Obviously.
Fuck. You could say happy holidays, but it's Merry 420.
Well, why do we say happy instead of Mary sometimes? What is that?
I don't know. I just feel like people are like, because I think Merry, they apply to like things that they think are holy.
And marijuana's
So I think they're trying to play us a little bit by not letting us get the Mary. So fuck that. I'm taking it.
Take it back.
We're married to the Mary.
That's right.
It's mine.
So speaking of 420, a lot of big things happening.
Big things happened on 420 this year. Oh my God.
And,
What?
And what you were rolling up was not the blunts that you're famous for.
Hold on.
What you were rolling up was sandwiches.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, bet. All right. Big shout outs to Jimmy John's. The
Sandwich Kings. The Sandwich
Freaky
Kings.
fast, freaky fresh, okay? So Jimmy John's, Jimmy, the squad at Jimmy, which is actually like, I found out, a women-led, oh my God, shout outs to the girls over there. The team is so brilliant over there. Shout outs to Meredith, Susie, Sophie, like them girls, oh my, Erin, like those 4 girls
I noticed
right
your
there.
little girl boss huddle afterwards.
You couldn't stop us. Greatness always recognizes greatness. And when I tell you, we were like magnets, we were like, oh, power up. Because, you know, we mobbed up. It was really nice. It was like a woman mob. It was amazing. But they reached out and we were there. They had a throne for me. They had a whole like
epic
setup.
red throne with lions on the handles. It was gorgeous.
It was insane. They had press. We had a DJ there. They turned the whole...
And shout outs to the DJ for not playing a bunch of corny songs.
Hey, yo, the best DJ ever. Like, he played Sizzler for me, the whole album. I literally was like, yo, play this. He played, like, 90s bangers. He played 2000s bangers. He played all reggae and all hip-hop. It was amazing. Not near one lame-o got played at this function. It was amazing. So that was
basically,
good.
the promotion was
Yeah.
Ranagade would roll up, and
Yeah,
I
no,
have it
they went
actually
OD.
right here.
Okay, so the team over, I'm so happy you kept yours. Okay, so the team over there, Genius Squad, because this is how marketing wins. Like if you're a corporation right now and you want to stay relevant and you want to stay with the culture, you have to do these things that now the internet and the kids have decided is a cool thing. And if you outcast an entire community like that, or any community, it's really hard then to kind of stay relevant or stay, you know, in the conversations with everybody. So they realized that there is no reason for cannabis to not be a household option when the adults want to have a vice, like alcohol is totally allowed to be,
exactly.
like wine is. Like you showing up to your friend's house with a nice bottle of wine isn't frowned upon. If I show up with some gas, you should be happy. Like all of my friends are very happy when I show up. You know, I'm a connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? So as a connoisseur, like a sommelier, you know, it's
That's
nice.
cannabis connoisseur.
Yeah. So it's nice to have big corporations really like fuck with us, with me especially, because it's like I'm just a girl, a G in real life, IRL G. You feel me? A girl. That's all I am. I'm just out here trying to make my way, pave a path, and shout outs to them for recognizing me as, you know, like a pioneer in this, you know, professional rolling cannabis for celebrities and you know, names that ring bells sort of world. And they had me come out. But then they're so genius. So they dropped this paper that is actually a rice paper.
Totally smokable.
So your
The entire
sandwich gets rolled in this, and then you can literally like piece this and smoke it, or roll the whole thing if you a gangster, you know what I'm saying, and just roll the whole thing, big old stogie. But they're geniuses for that. So they did this whole rollout. They turned the store into a sandwich dispensary. So then everyone that went through after they ordered their food, they came through and they did this thing. So they released a sandwich called the Munchie Crusher. And the Munchie Crusher is like this turkey little sandwich. It's got all these toppings
Double
you can
cheese
pick.
and
Yeah, whatever you
sprouts
want.
and
All
turkey,
of
yeah.
that. And then they got a promotion running with that. I think it was Free Side, FREESIDE, all in caps, whatever. You put that in, you get a whole, you get all these little things. So shout outs to Jimmy John's for fucking with the kid, because that is amazing to have, you know, so much like underground.
Was it like a moment for you
kinging
getting
happen.
like mainstream like that? Was it like
Yeah,
a breakthrough?
man. We're underground kings, you know? We're not like, it's nice to have Shine and Jam recognize what Rana can do as an
Marketeer
entity. Yeah,
and,
like
yeah,
as a
like,
business, you know?
right.
So it feels really, really good when Jimmy John's comes around and says, we see you.
Right.
You know? And then also they're really, really, not only do they have the right team over there, I'm telling you, those, you met them. They were amazing.
Amazing.
What
Absolutely amazing.
Solid,
Yeah.
solid, really authentic people who
Just bright people
it
who
didn't feel fake.
get the point of marketing.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It didn't feel like a fake link up. Like they weren't trying, you know, I didn't feel used.
Right.
I really felt like it was a moment for us to take something that shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, demonized any motherfucking way, to just go ahead and slap it in people's faces and be like, okay, so on Christmas you're gonna drink wine, right? I bet, smoke you a blunt too. Smoke the tree and have wine next to it.
Like, how big do you think that shift has been? Like, just in our lifetime, from, you know,
Woo!
weed being this, oh my God, what are you doing? You're smoking
Hey,
weed.
yo.
It was this horrible thing. It was secret.
I was joking with the girls. They had me do an interview. I actually did a dope interview with Black Enterprise magazine at the event. We actually did a lot of different.
That was an
little
amazing
publications.
article.
Yeah, super. Oh yeah, the girl did such a good write up on that. But the interview, because it was mad loud, because it's the DJ. They turned out the whole inside of the store. They had clubs. They had a walk. Had like a step and repeat with all this shit. It was a whole vibe. Photographers, videographers, everything. So the interview, we did it in the garage, and one of the women that was running the whole thing comes over and she was like, "I'm so sorry we have you doing this sketchy interview in the garage." I'm like, "Girl, Cannabis, stop playing with me." I was like, "You know how many sketchy garages we've done deals in?" I was like, "It wasn't always
Right.
thrones in front of Jimmy John's and get your sandwich rolled up. You know, it wasn't none of that." So we have come a long, long way. It feels really good. I always said Cannabis and hip hop owes me, because we've had to ride hard for these things. You know, you had to hold those things down for a really, really long time, and really with your chest, say with your chest, you know, what you love and what you fuck with. And a lot of people didn't ride for that. So shout outs to all the people that talked about cannabis in their music, all the
Right.
celebrities that casually, you know, because it's important. And I was telling another conversation I had with the ladies too, is that it's important for them to see us hardworking, successful, resilient people be cannabis users, because
Yeah.
it's always labeled under lazy. It's always labeled under you're not doing nothing. You're stuck on the couch. No, I'm not. I work hard, yo. I work
Yeah,
21,
yeah,
22
that's really
hours of my day usually. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that was really interesting to me, because I was interacting with a lot of the people who were coming up to you to get their sandwiches
Yeah,
rolled
yeah.
at Jimmy John's, and I was asking them, like, what do you do for work? And they're like, I'm an engineer. I work in design. I do these
yeah.
other things. And
like the customers.
yeah, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
customers. And like they were super excited about
Yep.
the product, and they related to it. And it's
Yep.
like the perception of cannabis, I think, has really, really changed from, you know, there were the people that you would assume would want the paper. They're like, oh, yeah, no, you know, your stereotypical
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stoner, you know,
Yep.
because we're in Long Beach.
The
you know,
hippie, the surfer,
Right.
the gangbanger, the guy who's crazy, this guy. No, it's not that. It's
It's
everybody.
so evolved beyond that at
yeah,
this point. You
it's
know?
everybody smokes. Everybody smokes. It's like saying, like, who all has had a sip of alcohol?
Everyone.
who all has had a hit of a joint. Probably
Everyone.
most everyone. You know, I mean, there's that small percentage of people that really haven't, and God bless them. I love those people, and I'm friends with a lot of those people. But for the most part, if you've tried one, you've tried the other, and they're not even equal. Like, you're actually like risking your life with consumption of alcohol.
The stigma is the thing that's really gone away from it. You know,
Yes,
it used to be
thank
one of those
God.
things that you had to hide.
Yeah.
If you couldn't even mention it publicly, professionally, it was
Yeah.
career suicide.
Yeah,
And now
for
it's
sure.
like, who cares? Grow up, you know?
Yep.
Like, it's legal in so many states. It's legal pretty much on the
Yeah.
entire West Coast.
So shout outs to Jimmy John's for sure.
Amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
they did a big rollout. They did a whole thing. They did the IG. They did everything. So yeah, more brands need to just get with the program
And hire Ranagade.
and hire Ranagade.
That's what they need to
Yes.
do. If you're smart and you're
Reach out
out
to
there
us.
and you're listening to this,
That's right. Contact us.
get your
'Cause we
business
will-
booming because Ranagade gets
Yeah.
it booming.
Ranagade booming like Metro. You know what I'm saying?
So, another thing I wanted to talk to you about 420 is, you know, how it's affected your ability to like say that you're a blunt roller. Like, has that been like something that like has changed for you?
What do you mean?
Like,
What?
because cannabis is now just more mainstream. Do you feel like more comfortable with like owning what you do, or is
No,
that,
I've always owned it.
you've always owned
You
it?
know that.
Yeah, and I know you've always owned it, but
I mean,
you know,
like, thanks for asking the question.
it's
to give me
content
the-
for the camera round.
Thank you. All right, great.
Okay.
Yes. No, I have always real big dog style. You bark real big, and because the bite is strong. So I've never had to hide who I was, even when I was younger. Like when I was in high school, my teachers knew I smoked weed. Every boss I ever had as like a young kid working at like a corporate job, they all knew I smoked. Like I've never hid smoking weed because I live in a mental space of I don't do things that are shameful, right? So I have nothing to hide ever. I'd have nothing to hide. I smoke. But I'm going to show up. I'm going to be able to say the right things. I'm going to be able to have quick reactions. I'm not faded. I'm not wildin'. I'm not doing none of that. I'm actually really, really good. And you actually need to know that this is medicinal for me and nothing has changed. So for me, I've always personally championed it because everybody I always knew was like, how are you so hyper? How you got so much energy? And I smoke weed all day, right? So it doesn't, I've always had really good high energy, and it's always just kind of helped me not maybe get just whatever, anxiety from little stupid childhood, maybe traumas or whatever little things you've dealt with as kids, wars and whatever silly things that you still kind of hold on to.
Silly little wars,
That, you kind of use as, the sources of anxiety. I think that's really it. But for myself, I think I've kind of always relished in the fact that I am a super smoker, and here I am out energying you. Here I am outliving you, Mr. Sober guy who thinks that weed is so bad. It's not. You haven't found the right strain, and maybe it's not for you, which is perfectly fine, but you don't get to tell somebody what is and what's not for them. Like some people like chia seeds, some people don't. None of your business, but you're not going to start a campaign against chia seeds. Chill out, bro. Cannabis is as common as a chia seed. It grows all over the world, and it's used by certain cultures to give them, superpowers. You dig? So, all right. So now the style we're doing today is, I really liked how we did it last weekend, because I think it allowed, the things to, what I mean? Like how we were doing before anyway. So we're going to keep the flow going. Today I have a couple of gangs around. So we might pan the camera over to them at some point, if there's a fun reaction in the crowd. Otherwise, you will see me talking my shit. But we are going to get everybody, you know what I mean? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Yeah? What'd you think, Reza?
I love it.
What'd you think of that last weekend? You like that?
I like just how you react to stuff. I'm always curious whenever I hear about anything, what you think, honestly. Like my entire life, it's always been, I wonder how she would react to this information.
What would Rana do?
What would Rana do? WWRD. You know what I'm saying?
WWRD, for sure. We need to get bracelets.
We do. And like prayer beads or something.
Okay, so maybe this should just all be called What Would Rana Do?
Let's call it What Would Rana Do?
What would Ranagade do? WWRD. Yo, that's funny.
He would always figure something out.
See?
WWRD.
There you go.
And you're the
WWRD.
Richard of our lives.
I am the rich. I'm the dick of your lives.
That's right. That's what I was going for, and
Okay, so come on, baby.
Okay, so since you were just talking about 420 and cannabis, since the NBA just changed their rules so that players can smoke, what do you think that does for like the openness to smoking in sports? And do you think it makes it athletes are going to come out and like start endorsing?
I love that. So this is hilarious too. So, like, when I lived in Ohio, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a criminal. I'm like, what you mean? I'm a gangster. The police is after me. I moved to LA, like, I'm not a criminal at all. I don't rob anyone. I don't pistol whip anyone. I don't do nothing criminal. I smoke weed.
That's it.
Why did I feel like such an outlaw? Like, why are you making my life have these outlaw consequences attached to it? I am not a bad person. But because I smoke weed in a state where it's not legal, now probation. Now what does that do? Sets you up for a lifetime of bullshit. Now you got this, now you got that, now you're on papers, now you can't get the right job, now you can't do this. And when you're in trouble already, any little tiny thing you do that's a little bit off now gets you in more trouble. So now you're fully in the system. It fucks up your whole shit where you're not a criminal. You're not even a criminal. You shouldn't. This is a weird rule to put on someone. Like, if you're allowing your athletes to damage their livers like that, and then potentially risk their lives drunk driving and shit like that, like, what you mean? Why that's not outlawed? So okay, so if the NBA players can't do nothing, like no altering of the mind, let's say, you're not allowed to take anything. All medications have to be run through, let's say, your physicians. You're not allowed to even do like your turmerics because it could go against this. And I mean, you know what I mean? Like, nah, but you're not doing that. So I think it's completely awful to begin with to
I mean, it's generally
criminalize something.
harmless pain management.
Period.
That's what these athletes are using it for.
Period, bro. Period.
Yeah.
So that's where. So yeah, hell yeah, good for them. Good for everybody, bro. Like, even, you know, the any business across America, like, the best thing to do would be to focus on what's actually bad for someone versus what's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, make your people have like life insurance. That should be mandatory. Make sure you get yourself some, you know, like, you have to eat healthy. Like, we don't serve unhealthy food here. You're not allowed to have junk food on our premises. You're not allowed to have foods that are super processed here. Shit like that. To give those types of rules to people. But fuck out of here.
Well, I think when people feel incentivized to do good things, they
You
feel
ready?
like it's like scary for them or something.
What do you mean? What'd you say? I'm sorry?
I said I feel like sometimes people are afraid of how much these incentives will help them, and they get afraid of it. You know what I mean? It's like they know how much it's going to help if they get told to do the right thing, and because they're like so committed to doing the wrong thing, they don't want to hear it. You know? I think that's what it comes down to. It's like people just don't want to get better. Like, they're committed to not getting better.
You mean as far as for
like
rules and
rules
regulations?
for like eating foods and regulations and all that
you
stuff.
Think that's
and
what
like,
you think that's why regulations are in place for people, is because they're not committed to things?
Like, I think that's the reason people don't like regulations. Like, I think it comes down to, I don't want to be better.
Right. So don't even write it down nowhere that I have to be better.
Exactly.
Because I already know I got to be better, but don't write it down nowhere.
Exactly.
Don't make me.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, is like, what's the list of better and good? Like, if your basketball player is showing up for practice, talking about practice, right? He's
He
showing
was
up
definitely
every day
drunk
for
during that
practice.
rant, by the
Well,
way.
short. Okay, moving on. Yes, short. But my point being here, if you're showing up for practice and you're showing up for the games and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then what does it matter that I smoked a joint before I showed up to hoop?
Right.
Like, I'm hooping. We won the game. I'm healthy. I'm doing good. My physical tests are coming back the right way. Fuck is we talking about? Next. Come on, talk to us.
Honestly, I want to ask about the whole situation with like different countries like legalizing weed, because you know how that one girl got arrested and was in Russia or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she got arrested. And she was there for like a year.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about that situation? You think they should legalize it?
I think if you're gonna go to another country, you have to be super careful. I think if you're going to go to another state where it's not legal, you have to be super careful. I think we live in a world where people are like, ha 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 ha, I'm just going to go. No, like, don't go to the airport with a gun in your suitcase, bro. Check your shit. Why are you not checking your shit? You forgot this is really serious shit? Like, you can literally get caned in certain countries for spitting your gum out on the ground. Like, and it's none of your business what their laws are. If you want to, like, support some sort of internet movement that they have by like bringing noise to it, sure, but like you can't meddle in all that shit. And then furthermore, like protect your neck, yo, protect your heart. Shout outs to Uncut, but protect your neck, protect yourself. Like, why did you forget that there's governments in the world? Why did you forget that there's law and order in different places, and it's all different in places? So once again, when I'm in the natty, I'm not running around in the car like you're bugging. You trying to get bagged? Why are you trying to get bagged?
So like when he's
Move
talking,
to LA and smoke you a joint walking down the street, and the police will walk past you and not say nothing because you're not a fucking criminal.
so do you think ultimately like someone like Brittany Griner who takes cannabis oil to Russia should understand what Russian laws are?
Yes, girl. You should understand if you took that cannabis oil to Texas, you're getting fucking bagged. What are you talking about? Shorty, you're tripping. And I'm glad everybody came together. God bless her coming home. I'm happy because a mistake is a mistake, like her not being aware. So we should take her because once you're busy, and it's not a conscious thing. She's not consciously like, I don't care. The guys who get bagged with their guns at the airport weren't trying to get bagged. No one is ever trying to get bagged. You hear me? Ever. Unless, God forbid, you're like homeless somewhere and you're like, all right, I'm going to do better in prison. At least I get 3 meals and a bed. Okay, that's totally different. Fine. Maybe then you're trying to get bagged. But for the most part, you're not trying to fucking get bagged. So if you got bagged, it's literally you not checking your shit. And that is what this whole thing is about, is when you wake up in the morning, be on top of your shit. Every decision has to be done the right way. You're going to get a series of choices. Choose right, choose right, choose right, choose right, choose right, and then you're not gonna fucking end up in some silly ass situation where now the whole country has to get together to get you out of prison. When we actually have actual people who like went on like freedom missions to save Americans who are bagged in countries. I mean, if we're gonna do deals with people, can we get those people out? I get it was fucked up and Russian prison ain't no fun. I understand. But if I went to fucking Mexico or Venezuela and I broke a law, or I went to China and I did something, I can't be like, what do you mean? Chinese government? Bro, you broke a law. You're in another country. Respect people. You go to a mosque, you cover your hair. You go to a church and they say everyone bow down and pray. You're going to do it too. Because that's what you do when you walk into someone else's home. You are respectful. Shoes off, shoes off. Don't bring that bullshit in here. I'm not bringing that bullshit in here. And it's not even bullshit. I smoke. I'm definitely not telling her what she's doing is bad. But shorty, come on. Come on. The kids are watching.
All right, we got another question?
Yeah.
All right. So back to what you were saying about that. What other resources you think that the law enforcement could do better in with making it easier for the people that are coming to different countries or whatever?
Well, we got the internet now, so you don't got no excuses. There's not many resources available for people for shit anyway. Like, there's not many resources that tell you how to do your taxes. There's not many resources that tell you how to do any of this shit. So this entire fucking thing is figure it the fuck out, right? But thank God we have the internet. There's blogs, there's forums. And then otherwise, it's like, if you're the type of person who's super like, nah, suck my dick, I'm not following none of your rules, then stay home. I'll be home 96% of the time, because 96% of the time I'm not going, bro. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not finna deal with this. I'm not trying to hear this guy's nothing. I'm not going.
What do you think the motivation is for people though that are traveling and that think that like these laws don't apply to them? What do you think that is? It's just like they don't care?
That you're mad privileged. You thought the world revolved around you and you forgot you're in someone else's home. It's exactly like walking into someone's crib and not taking your shoes off because your sock has a hole in it. I don't care that you're embarrassed about your sock hole. Honestly, I'm not judging you off your sock hole. I can give you a new pair of socks, or I'm not even judging. I can help you sew them, or we could just laugh about you being holier than thou. Okay? Whatever you want to do. But like, you still have to take your shoes off because you don't know what my reason is. It might not be vanity. It might not be I don't want your nasty shoe. It might not be I don't want you to mess up my carpet. It might be I have a sick 20-year-old cat in my house who I don't need to maybe breathe in whatever you might have brought in with you. Maybe there's a baby in the house. Maybe there's an elderly person in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, follow rules. Fuck rules, follow instructions. Hey, when you go here, and here's and that's why it's like, it's a rule. That, fuck a rule, the rules can go away, but the instructions you have to follow because it's your choice. Hey, if you, America, go and stick your finger in a fucking socket, you're gonna get electrocuted.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think you should do that. But if you said, fuck what you talking about, I'm finna go do it, then what? Then what? Then I
want to get fried.
You're gonna get fried, right? So you have a choice, right? Like, so you're asking, what if you're going somewhere? What are some resources, bro? Every bit you can get. If you're going to someone else's neighborhood, you're gonna ask, right? Well, no matter what the neighborhood is. If you go to this part of town, you better know how to fuck to walk around. And if you go to that part of town, you better know how to walk around. And if you go to Beverly Hills, you better know. Even if it's just down as simple as like you can't park on this side of the street on Tuesdays over here. But in your neighborhood, you might be able to. You can't leave your car on the block in somebody else's, like, some neighborhoods I've lived in, I've had my friends leave their car there when they went out of town for 3 months. In front of my house, nobody fucking batted an eye. I just sat there.
Okay, so you were talking about Ohio. Rules. You're talking about Ohio, and like you felt like a criminal there, but you wanted to do what you wanted to do, and you weren't necessarily respecting the local laws because the laws it was illegal. When do you make that decision about what is good for you and fuck the laws, and when do you decide I need to respect the laws? Like, how do you come to that internal decision? Like, what was it?
The internal decision is freedom reigns supreme always. So your freedom is what matters. The number one rule is go back home. Get back home. Get back home. You have to get back home. You got to make it back home, yo. You got to make it back home. And then tomorrow morning, you got to get back outside and then get back home again. And it would behoove you to not fuck yourself up today, because when you get back home, you don't want to be fucked up. You don't want your hands fucked up. You don't want your feet fucked up. Wear the right shoes. Protect your hands. If you're going to go skateboarding, don't wild out. And if you're going to grind on the ground, maybe wear a little glove. And if you're not, then maybe you know, like, think about little shit. And if you're willy-nilly and now you fuck yourself up, then, so the discernment is, I need to go home. I want to go home. Ask anyone locked up anywhere in the world, what do they want? To go home. So if you're free out here, your job is to fucking go home. In the name of everyone locked up, go home today. In one piece. Go home in one piece today if you can. And the way to do that in most places is to avoid getting bagged, son. Don't get bagged. Don't get bagged. Move the right way. If you're going to do some fuck shit, do it the right way. Or don't do it at all. First bit of advice, don't do it at all. But if you're going to do some shit that maybe is, you know what I'm saying, Jesus was an outlaw. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you got to, you know what I mean? Okay, depending on what it is, you will know. But don't get bagged. Go home. Go home. Go home. I wanna go home. What is that little song that he's singing?
For copyright, we're gonna stop. Anyway, Emery has a question.
Yeah, so that was really awesome with what you just said there. I love that, by the way.
Thank you.
So regarding to, like, you know, back to 420, smoking weed and whatnot, I got friends, smoke a lot of weed. What's the right way to smoke? What's the proper way to smoke? Because it's like, you know, some people will just face their blunts right to it. Some people will hit it once, put it down. Like, what would you say is the right way to do it for people so they can enjoy their time the right way? So they don't take advantage of it, don't spend their money, and also, like, you know, sometimes for social...
that's like a super duper duper loaded multi-answered question. So that's like a lot of it. So, like, what's the right way to smoke? And then dosage-wise, I guess we'll stick to those two, and I'll try to answer those pretty decently quickly. So, like, dosage-wise, it's medicinal. So you need to figure out what your dosage is. You can't overdo it and you can't underdo it. So you need to figure out what that is. And the best way to do that is to take a couple of puffs, wait a while, let that effect kick in, let that ride out, see how long it takes for that to ride out, and then go back in. And then that'll give you your pace of what you need. You know what I'm saying? And then, like anything else, you can build a tolerance to it. So what you smoke on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will not be what you smoke on day 8,972, 468 billion. It's not the same. So be careful building it, and then you could always unbuild it too. So always remember, the same way you can engineer something, you can reverse engineer that same exact thing. So if you find yourself overdoing anything, you can wean yourself off of anything. That is the beauty and the resilience of the human being, is you can really, like, lower your need for something to small amounts if you do it systematically.
Also, if you're like millions of years old, I hope you've learned how to smoke weed.
That part.
Point, yeah.
And then the other part is how do you smoke? So yesterday I was with a couple of my friends, and we were talking about, like, how long everyone smoked, and the fact that I don't have, like, black like lips that have, like, kind of gotten burnt out, right? Sort of thing. So one of the homies that was there was like, yo, my lips is fucked up, and I only been smoking this many, like, 8 years or something, and I've been smoking like 3 times that plus. So he was like, how? So then that led to actually a really good answer. So I think that I'm just going to reapply that here. The biggest thing I tell anyone is that cherry can't get big. Okay? That umber can't get big. So your job is to keep that as little as possible while smoking. So it's a few ways you're going to achieve that. You're going to take smaller, more firm hits where you're actually pulling for real. You're not like going to fake pull. You're not going to get extra air off the side of your mouth. You're going to actually do a small, good pull. And then once you've done that pull, you're going to let it breathe for a second. Okay? Now, when you let it breathe for a second, a multitude of things are going to happen. When the cherry gets big, it wilts. Is that the right word I'm using? It wilts the rest of the flour that's inside. Okay? So like you ever seen like vegetables get steamed or wilted, they release all the aroma, they get really kind of nasty in texture. Not nasty if you like.
Don't steam your broccoli, kids.
Yeah, I don't like sauteed like spinach. I like my spinach nice and crispy. Same with my flour. So when that cherry gets too big, what happens is now the rest of the flour gets wilted before you get to burning it. So now you're pretty much smoking a giant like cotty, like roach blunt. You know what I'm saying? So with that small cherry, you just eliminated a gross tasting experience. Like you've now like been able to smoke as it gets to it. Now you're burning it as it gets to it because the cherry isn't too big. The other thing that prevents is the smoke that's in the chamber now, which is whatever you've rolled it in, isn't going to be too hot because when the cherry's too big, now it's too hot. So now you're smoking on a tube or straw that's hot. The actual temperature of now your blunt is hot. So when you put this hot ass thing on your mouth, you're literally now holding like a fucking curling iron in your lips. Okay? Third of all, that hot, not cooled down smoke is what makes you cough. Also, that hot, not cooled down smoke is what makes your shit run and get all gross and run on your lip. You ever seen it get resonated? That's also from it getting too hot. So if you don't let that cherry get mad big, you could prevent all of these troubles by just smoking better. So smoking is put it to your mouth like a straw if you were going to drink, okay? You're not going to like chug it, right? You're going to pull the straw into your mouth. You're going to take the straw out of your mouth, and then you're going to swallow whatever's in your mouth. So there's a two-step. You pull it into your mouth, and then you close your mouth, and then you pull it into the rest, like you pull it down into your body, okay? You do the same thing with the smoking. You're going to put your lips around it. You're going to take an inhale. You're going to take it out of your mouth, and then you're going to inhale it down into your lungs.
What percentage of smokers do you think like actually smoke the right way?
Oh, none of them, which is why I don't pass my shit to nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody could hit my blunt. Not for real. You can't do it because you're going to fuck my shit up. So if I give you my shit, I don't want it back. We're done.
So
which is why I don't even share.
So there's a lot of like
I'm not a
science to the
Sharon,
art,
and
I
I'm not a
guess.
Karen.
There's a lot of science to the art then, right?
Huh?
There's a lot of science in
There's
the whole art.
absolutely science. There's aerodynamics. There's thermodynamics. There is actual principles that have to be applied here. There's actual physics that has to be like kept in mind, you know? For real shit. I can't hear you. What is it? What's happening?
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Now we can.
Now I can. Sorry.
So what's the
like, oh, you're
safest
far
way
away.
what's the safest way to like grow weed, or like how to, to the proper way, to the method of like when they use it in different sorts of like the what do you call it? Like
She's not a grower, she is a roller.
Huh.
Hold on. What's the
Yeah.
question? What is it?
Like the safest way to like grow weed, or how to make weed.
Find the best growers, and there's a few of them out there in the world, and I mean a few, like literally a few that are actually really good, solid, organic, like healthy growers, and become friends with them like Ranagade has in life, and then you'll have good flower. But other than that, God bless you, and I'll see you somewhere on this journey, I hope. But I'm not a grower. And I think that's really important too, to understand that within this world there is so many different roles to be played, right? So there is the grower, there is the
Well, there's someone like you said, like the super smoker like you, and then there's other people who need to not smoke
so
as much.
I am on the end of consumption. So I deal with the consumption, right? So and honestly, I would say I have pioneered art of curating the consumption as a role that didn't exist maybe before, right? Because it's always been there's like the guys who do the genetics, right? Those aren't the growers either. They just do the genetics, right? Then the growers grow it. Then there's the people that do the infusions. Then there's the people that work on concentrates. Then there's the people that work on in the edible world. Then there's people that work in just the business of it, where they just deal with the dispensaries and they just deal with making sure that everything is in compliance and that no rules are being broken and that everything is being done the right way. So it takes an entire multi-seat Ferris wheel for this thing to operate, right? So you need every one of those spots filled in, and so find you the right growers, baby. You know what I'm saying? Come on out to Cali and see the right people out here, because that's where they're at. They're definitely in Cali.
Since we're talking about like weed and all of that, do you feel like weed was just the beginning? Like we're like moving into an era of psychedelics now. We're like weed is kind of like stepping back.
Oh my God.
Everybody's
like, this was the
tripping.
Beginning,
And
everybody's
now we're, like,
tripping.
diving into
Everyone's
the deep end of
tripping.
the pool, and we're like, now we're doing shrooms.
Everyone's
now
tripping.
we're doing LSD. Now we're doing like everything that you can
Everyone's tripping.
possibly imagine.
Everywhere I go, everyone's tripping. I've never seen more mushrooms get consumed in my entire life of knowing of mushroom consumption. I've never seen it in this amount of consumption ever. Oh my God, motherfuckers is tripping. But honestly, once again, I'm glad that it just shows it goes right along with the fact that the kids creating the movement right now can't be fooled. So I think it's a really good thing, because it's been shown that through psychedelics, people can stop addictions to things. So in this world of, hey, it's Friday, I'm hanging out with my friends, what are we gonna do? Mushrooms over perks, mushrooms over pill popping, mushrooms over lean sipping, mushrooms over bullshit, right? Cannabis over all that shit. So go fungi, go psychedelics, go, and it's not just the psychedelic mushrooms, it's all the fungis. They're all fun guys. It's the whole world. They're doing good over there. Find out about all that, because it doesn't just help with that. My dog son, God rest his soul, Muja, the dog boy. If you were lucky enough to meet Muja, you were lucky enough to meet Muja in life. He got diagnosed with a cancer, and they initially told me he had 2 weeks to live, and if I gave him chemo or radiation, he would live maybe 1 or 2 months. I didn't give him chemo or radiation. I just fully changed his diet immediately the day of, and then I put him on like a really big I guess like homeopathic, holistic approach sort of diet, right? So I had him on like a shit ton of like turmeric and like cinnamon and stuff like that, and then turkey tail mushrooms. Turkey tail mushrooms, fun fact, look this up, have been proven to get rid of tumors in dogs. This particular type of cancer. So, okay, how different are you than your fucking dog? Okay, maybe you can't have an avocado, all right? But you guys can eat the same chicken. It's fine. The mushroom is doing something, right? So, oh my goodness, if you know anybody, I've had friends of mine who then I've shared that information with, because that's actual research that's been done. So there's actually a particular brand, I'm not going to shout them out or nothing, but whatever. There's a particular brand that has a good, really heavy dose one. But I gave my dog that, but any lion's mane, because it's my bad, not lion's mane. Lion's mane is good too, but it's turkey tail. Turkey tail mushroom is amazing, but I had him on a lot of that, and fuck the 2 weeks, fuck the month and 2 months. And it's also whatever dog had this type of cancer he has, it's like homogeneous, some shit like that for her, I forget what the fuck it's called. Because fuck that cancer, my dog beat its ass. We never even mentioned its name. You hear me? Pussy, I can't even get your name said around here. They said any dog that gets that can only live maxed 80 days. My dog lived like 393 days. Ate till the last day, used the restroom on his own, sunbathed his very last day, passed away in my arms. It was just the most beautiful situation I guess you could ask for when you are given those set of circumstances. But psychedelics for the win, over perks, over Molly, over fucking lean, over all that bullshit. Don't kill yourself. Try to stay alive.
And obviously this isn't like medical advice.
No, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on the podcast.
But like, yeah, you can. There are more options than that are out there. So it's good to explore them for sure.
All right, come on. You ready to go? You got something? Eager. Let's go. I like it.
What are your thoughts on heavier drugs like DMT and ayahuasca?
Okay, so okay, I don't know about none of that shit because I just smoke weed. So if you know me, I just smoke. I don't drink. I don't pop pills. I'm not doing none of that extra shit. I ain't getting trippy with you or none of that because I feel like I'm already trippy. I'm already drunk. I'm already ready to like emote like Molly makes you. I'm ready to like talk about emotions. If you want to cry right now, I'm ready. Like I'm drugs already in life. Like I'm already hyper. I'm already on all the uppers. I'm on all the downers. I'm already there. I don't know about what people do because I think whatever do you think. But with those couple of things that like the ayahuascas, the peyotes, the couple of those that have lived in ritualistic traditional manner in cultures around the world, I think if you are going to, once again, back to the take your shoes off when you walk in theory, if you're going to approach that the right way and not end up bagged somewhere or in prison because you fucking walked in with your shoes on or you took the gun to the airport, right? If you're going to enter the trippy world respectfully with your shoes off,
You gotta respect the ritual.
you have to respect the ritual. You would really need to understand what you are about to embark. You would need to have your life in order before doing so. But if you are going to like respectfully go on those journeys, more power to you. I think it's good to do whatever you think it's good to do for you if it's done in a healthy, safe fashion. But I do personally have a thought on DMT because DMT is what is supposed to be released upon death. Right?
Or dreaming.
But like, so for me, certain, like personally, and these are the thoughts of Ranagade PerRana, powered by Shine and Jam, but not the opinions of Shine and Jam. These are the opinions of Ranagade PerRana.
These
okay?
opinions expressed are only of yours.
Only of mine. I don't like to mess with my body. I don't like to mess with my body. Now, ask me what that means. That means if it's supposed to happen when I'm dying or it's some sort of reserve, if it's like my parachute for death, I'm not going to go like play with my parachute all the time. Because what if I don't fold it back up the right way? What if I don't fold it back up the right way? I need that fucking parachute, bro. If it's been packed perfectly for me, like the wings of the butterfly, you're not going to fucking tangle with that shit before it's ready to go. Right? So I personally don't mess with myself because I need myself.
Well, the concept
you know what I'm
of a
saying?
jinx
To do
is-
all the natural, perfect things that my body already, as a woman, right? Like you get pregnant, you have a baby, your body just naturally does all of these things. One of my best friends just had a baby. Shout outs to Yadi Cakes, the whole gang. Yadiel, my godson. Bro, she monster. Like she just knew exactly what to do. There was like no hiccup. She was like, psh, grab him, hold him, feed. Boom. I know exactly what to do. I know what he thinks. I know what he feels. I know exactly what... I know... Intuitively, all of it happened. She didn't have to hit like a start milk. There wasn't like an app that reminded her like on week 3, you're going to develop... Like, nah, bro. Everything is just meant to happen, right? Like as a man, things happen for you as they're supposed to happen. As a woman, things happen as they're supposed to happen. As a human, as a dog, like when a cat has a litter, can't tell her nothing. She knows exactly what to do. Come here. Get your ass over here. Boom, boom. You come over here. You do this, you do this. Oh, y'all both over here. Let me move one of them over. Let me lay a different way. They know what to do. It's very intuitive. Everything is very, very intuitive. So for me, I don't like to, I'm not going in that closet. Like I'm not nosy. I ain't going in.
Well, I think, the concept of a jinx is you have to believe that the jinx is going to happen. So if you have in your head that something bad could happen while you're tripping, you should not trip.
No, I don't think it's that. It's not. I don't think it's that. I definitely don't. I think if I did whatever, I would be able to be fine because I have power of the mind. For me, it's certain things are reserved to happen at certain times, and to go and fuck with that is wrong. Like in life. You're going to have things that will happen to you later on in life. You don't need to rush certain things. It's that whole notion of like the kids wish they were adults and like ask any adult, they like wish they were a kid right now. Like, bro, let me go back to having the only problem be like clean my room. Like that's all I have to do. That's it. That's like my entire to-do list. That and like a few math problems. Psh, fuck is you talking about? You, as an adult, you got to do all this other shit, right? So, like, don't rush stuff. It's so silly. You're going to stress yourself out. Like, people are sitting around overly thinking everything. Like, what's next? What am I going to do?
Well, it's because they want everything all at once. Don't you think
Yeah,
that's the problem?
no, it's awful. It's the worst. It's the worst way to set up your timeline. Also, you are the painter of this picture. Don't give away your painting so fast. Like, imagine you're doing this painting in front of an audience and you have to do this grand reveal at the end. You don't need to do the outline first. Do the background first, or do the river and the stream first. You don't need, like, let the bird be the last little thing you put in the sky.
Happy little river.
Happy little river, right? Like, you don't need to, the whole picture doesn't have to be painted at the same time. Also, that's why these long-term decisions don't need to be made when you're, like, mad young, because you have to allow that fluidity to always be available for you.
Well, don't
right?
you think people are just? It's like what you're saying about kids and adults. People just want what they can't have, right? You know, a kid wants all of the freedom to be an adult, and an adult wants all of the simplicity of being a kid, right? Like, it's just everyone just wants what they can't have.
For sure. That's the fucked up thing, because it's like, stop. Just, isness is my business. I'm not what was. I'm not what could be. I'm not what if, what this, what none of that. I'm not none of that. I'm as is. Even back down to that altering of the shit, like the DMTs or the like, I don't got no tats. I ain't never dyed my hair. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not pierced. Like, I got my ears pierced, but they did that shit to me when I was like a few months old. And it's just, I'm Iranian, so I guess it's just, I'm a girl. It's just gang initiation shit, which is fine, I guess, whatever. So, like, you know, I got that. But besides, I'm not, like, I'm here right now and I'm in season. You know, I'm in season. Like, as you are here, like, once again, last time we were talking about, like, it doesn't matter if you're not blooming right now. Like, right now, this tree is popping. This one it needs a few months to come back, let's say, you know, like, don't rush it. Don't be like, I need to be on that right now. No, you don't, because now you're going to get out of season, and now your fruit won't taste the same because you're not ripening in the same manner that you should have. You're not ripening under the same conditions you should have been ripening under. So stick to exactly where you need to be. Like, I got homies right now that stopped doing certain things and are, like, on new paths right now, you know, like, are venturing into new territories for themselves. Okay, you're doing good. Don't rush it. Just do every single thing you can. If you can, you must. And then don't trip over all the other shit. Don't sit around bugging yourself out like, what else can I do? What else can I do? Where else can I go? What else? We were talking about being lost earlier. Like, when you're lost, you're looking for an answer. And then that's how you get pimped. That's how you get fooled into something. Because now I could tell you anything. Oh, you're looking for an answer? Well, let me give you all the bullshit that I got to make you my puppy and my puppet and my little fucking toy. But you're not lost, then now everything makes sense. Why? How are you lost? What are you lost in? Where are you gonna find that other people haven't found? We're all just kind of here.
So what do you think contributes to having that power of the mind that you were just talking about? Like, what do you, like, is it awareness? Is it discipline? Is it the combination? Like, what do you think gets you to the point where you can actually shield yourself from outside influence and, like, not get moved by timelines that you shouldn't be moved by? What do you think, like, gets you to that point in your life?
As a renegade, truly, as a Rana, as the daughter of Fairy and Hamid, right? As the person who's had the journey I've had, I guess, as the thoughts that I've always had in my mind, like, I guess I confidently don't know. I confidently don't know what's going on. I confidently don't know how my parents just fucked one day and now I'm walking around. Half him and half her. I'm them. I'm their legacy. That's why legacy is important, once again, too. Like, this is who you're, like, that's how you're forever. How do you forever this planet? Your legacy is your forever. Like, I always say, I love you the most out of anybody in the world, because if I love you, I love mom and dad at the same time.
Right.
Like, it's like, if I hug you, I'm like hugging, it's like hugging both of them at once, like a bear hug for my parents. Like, oh, like my sister too. Like, I love them. They are my parents in one, like, right? Like, so I don't know what's going on. That's where everyone's like, I don't know, tell me. What the fuck are they gonna tell you? No one's like, oh, so this guy said a gazillion years ago, this is what's gonna happen. All right, you seen a homie come back? You seen somebody die? All these motherfuckers got cameras. Not one person got murked and popped back up and said, oh my God, this would actually happen. I'm not talking about some guy that was like, when I fell into the water, I died and I saw the light and then so-and-so. Shut up. That didn't fucking happen. You didn't actually shut up. I want to see somebody that got popped, pop back up and say, yo, do you know what's really going on?
You never heard of 50 Cent?
Shut up. You feel me? Like, yeah, and that's why he's got the power. You feel me? Because he actually understands what life is. Life is just this miraculous ability to process this whole thing that's magical. I'm watching you. I'm God. You're watching me. You're God. He is within all of us. We are all little things. So I got this zero theory, okay? I'm zero. You're zero. We're all zero. Like, because you have the eyeballs, right? So you know how, like, the numbers work? Like the linear line of numbers. There's 0, there's 1 to infinity forever. There is 1 to infinity forever on the negative side. Okay? You're here in the middle. You get to experience everything outside of you forever. Solar system, Milky Way, more galaxies, more universes, multiverses, this big ass thing they just found. And then on the opposite end of going inside to the negatives, let's say, or it's the positives, whichever, I don't care which side you want to make, whatever. Now you get organs, cells, atoms, nuclear or nucleus, electron, proton, you go in there, and now they done looked inside of them and see shit going on in there. And watch, they're about to get good enough shit that they're going to see what's going on in there. Why are you bugging about all of this shit? That's like the past and the present and all this. Like, it's like, just sit your happy ass in this little tiny axis that you're in and just take it all in. Like, what you put inside of your body matters because it is your little tiny molecules. It's your little tiny nano atoms. And then how you see everything outside of you matters because it's your, like, macro atoms.
Yeah, no, it's just about scale, right? Like, if you look at things on too small a scale, you're not seeing the picture. If you look at things on too big of a scale, you're not seeing the picture either.
So for me, I think, So for me, I think I'm comfortably just right here, like, okay, I don't know. But somehow, magically, when I drink this water, it will digest. My lungs have been breathing this whole time for me. My poor little baby heart with that little baby valve has been pumping this whole time. I don't know what's going on, but I see the fruit growing. I meet beautiful people. They're living just like I am. So shit, their parents fucked and got them here too. I don't know what's going on. Like, what? You understand? So then that confidence lets you know, no matter what, you're money, because you don't know nothing anyway. How are you judging what's happening when you don't even know what's going on? No one does. I mean, life is happening, right? But I'm saying as far as like, we're trying to figure it out. We try to.
Well, the parents did, you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's really what the realest thing is. Your parents
though?
is who you should worship. That's really your upline. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like when the fruit falls from the tree, when you look at the fruit, you look at the tree. They go together. You go with your tree. Whatever your tree is, whatever like your lineage is in that sort of sense, like that is really gonna be the makeup of who you are. And that some of that isn't necessarily your biological parents, because some people don't have that, but it's what you align with, right? So that alignment matters. Get yourself positive, good alignment, and then you're good. But as far as like, when are you good? Like if I was trippy, I'd be money, because my mind is super strong. Why? Because I comfortably have no fucking clue why shit is so perfectly imperfect constantly. And the sun will rise tomorrow and it will set tonight. And I will breathe.
Why do you think people are so uncomfortable not knowing?
Because they're nosy. They're nosy. They're not busy enough working. Like the happiest person is too busy when they wake up in the morning to lay around in bed wondering what the fuck is going on. And the luckiest person is the person that at the very end of the night, they're too fucking tired to lay in bed and ponder. Bro, you should wake up busy enough that you don't got time for that bullshit, and you should go home tired enough that you don't got time for that bullshit. What are you sitting around thinking about?
Yeah, idle hands at the devil's playground. Like, beyond the religious thing,
stop.
Like, your brain gets in so much trouble when you have too much time to think about stuff.
You're good.
You don't have a job. You're not in school. You're not doing all this stuff. You're going to get depressed because you have way too much time to just think about everything.
Yeah, but but here's the thing too. People want fast answers. They want fast. Life doesn't happen that fast. So even if you have nothing to do right now at home, nothing to do at all, go buy a plant. Go to your local store and buy a plant and very, very gently sit next to it and watch it grow. And get inspired. You fucking dumbass. Grow a leaf yourself.
Watch
What
our
the fuck?
podcast. Do not watch plants
Fucking
grow.
idiot.
Watch our podcast. We've got more episodes.
Grow a leaf.
Don't watch
Like-
plants. Watch us.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And your mind will grow.
Yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying? The tree of life.
I got a question.
Not the mad fucking slow voice.
Sorry, my bad. I have a question.
I've got a question.
How do you think in the next 10 years, how do you think marijuana will be perceived to kids of the age of 5?
Honestly, kids at the age of 5 should never think about marijuana because you're fucking 5.
No, but
But I would hope
They
that
see
it's
things like
as. But
that
I would hope.
generation, that
But I would
generation.
yeah,
hope
like
that
how
it's
it's
as.
being presented to the world.
I would hope as it's as presentable as your family having nice wine with dinner on a holiday, at minimum. I don't need it every day in the house. Your family shouldn't drink every fucking day. But if your mom fucking cracks open a bag of that yam saying on Christmas, let her smoke her joint. Let daddy smoke his joint. You know what I'm saying? Let Papa get high.
Yeah, because it's not about people drinking alcohol. It's about being irresponsible. It's not about people smoking weed. It's about being irresponsible, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
You know, it's just like if you can do something responsibly, you should be allowed to do it.
Yeah, that part. So I would hope in 10 years, like, the world as a whole is comfortable allowing people to be if it's safe and healthy. And now we've done our research. And that's why it's really important. Once again, like we were talking
I
about
mean, when I was a
education last time.
kid, you know, getting high and eating Jimmy John's, I never thought we were going to be at an event at Jimmy John's, you know, rolling
Right.
up sandwiches because you're an
Right.
internationally renowned artist in cannabis. Like, that's crazy. Like, that is a crazy sort of milestone in life just for us to kind of get to. And I think the more we
Truly.
go, the more normalized it's going to be, the more just part of life it's going to be. And I think there's some part of me that, like, doesn't like that. It's kind of like losing its appeal in some way. It's like, you know, it was cool because it was so underground. It was like, it was a thing that, like, you knew people. And now it's just, everyone does it. And I think that's awesome in a different way. But, like, it has kind of, like, lost that, like, if you know kind of vibe.
Well, I think that's to you because you're not a custy. So I think if you're new to this shit, you're like still geeked.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I don't think that applies. I think everyone has like a 10-year, 5-year, like, oh my God, I smoke weed phase. Everyone. I meet them all the time. Grown-ass motherfuckers that are 8 years in, and they're like, weed. They love it. They're geeked off of it. They want all the new products. They just found out about this. They just heard about this because it's such a complex world to get into that it's like somebody walking through IKEA. Like, whoever walks through IKEA is going to meet you at the end and be like, oh my God, did you see this section and that section and this section and this?
And they have meatballs. Did you hear about that?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if you've been there, you're like, bro,
They got
it's
lingonberry
not
sauce.
that. It's just, it's
I'm
fine.
just saying. And you can build your own furniture.
So,
Fantastic experience.
what?
I'm talking about IKEA.
Why? They're not paying us.
Yeah, but they got meatballs.
Yeah, but we're going to beep this out. Come on, what? Yeah. The fuck?
Ask away, audience.
We talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No, we're not. This isn't a weed episode.
What do you guys think about the
Fuck.
whole situation and like them bringing in like the day to them to kids like at schools and all that?
No, people got to chill with that. Don't do, like y'all are bugging on children. I think that's the problem. I think it's a lot of like predatory behavior on kids. I think we should apply the same exact like notion of like if you're not grown enough to get a tattoo until you're 18 and you're not grown enough to fucking like get a lottery ticket till you're 18, if you're not grown enough to fucking sign paperwork or do contracts or any of that shit, like you're not grown enough to do anything. You're technically not really grown enough to do shit till you're like 23 or 25 because that's when your brain fully fucking develops.
Frontal lobe.
Yeah, like so really like if you're a kid, bro, don't do that shit. I'm telling you, listen to me at the beginning of the fucking amusement park as kid. Everyone at the end of the amusement park is like, bruh, I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. Like a smart man learns from his mistakes and a genius learns from the mistakes of every person around them as well, because that just speeds you up. So what do I think about implementing anything on children? Fucking leave kids alone. Kids are fine. Kids' imaginations are so vivid already, they don't need you to fucking like coerce it in any way. Don't coerce kids. Do not coerce children. Stop promoting shit to kids. Stop fucking pumping this shit to kids. Honestly, if you not at least like 18 years old, not for nothing, you really shouldn't even be watching this shit. because I'm cussing hella. I'm hitting this joint every once in a while. Like, don't watch this. You're bugging, bro. Go watch some kid shit.
And
You're
if you do,
tripping.
share it with all your
like,
friends.
and enjoy
in high
that
school.
while you're in that. And
Everyone.
enjoy that while you're in that. Enjoy that while you're sitting in it.
But if
like-
you do watch this and you're under 18, you're going to be the coolest kid. ever.
Yo. But at the end of the day, like, the kids don't need you to get them hip to nothing. If a kid if the kid feels a way about something, a kid will let you know. And until a kid says something, and most of the times when kids say silly shit, you just let them say silly shit. Kids believe in Santa, bro. You let your kid that believes that some fucking dude just came through your fucking non-existent chimney in your apartment tell you, Dad, I think I'm X, Y, and Z. Sure, baby. That should be your only response. Sure, sweetie. What do you want for dinner? Or, hey, tonight we're going to go here. Hey, this is the book we're reading now. Or, hey, grandma's on her way over. Like, these are the conversations you should be having with the kids. Hey, we're going over to Uncle So-and-so's house on Friday after school. Are your new shoes comfortable? Do you want a bike? Should daddy play with you more? Have I been gone too long? Damn, let's sit down together for a second. Have I told you how fire you are? I think about you all day when I'm gone at work. I miss you, kid. That's what you should be talking. That's the only shit you should be saying to your kid. Come here, bro. You're the coolest kid I know. And if your kid isn't cool, you're bad. Make your kid cool. Hip your kid to some shit so your kid isn't out here lost and confused, trying to find their way, getting pimped by the world. Unhand these children.
As a follow-up is what I was asking before with the whole 10-year thing. And then also kind of like with what he was asking. How do you think, with social media, with TikTok, with how all of these younger kids are now having their eyes open at such a younger rate to where they're, to where they sometimes feel like they're as old as people that have just
I mean, they are. We're all watching the same shit.
I know that, but it's like, how does an adult, the supervisor of their children, make sure that it's right for their kid to watch certain things? Like,
because I don't think adults know. I don't think adults know what's right more than kids do.
I don't think. Yeah, I think the problem is ultimately, if you're an adult, you're micro teaching little lessons instead of macro teaching big principles. Okay, it's not macro. It's not little Mikey tiny lessons like get off TikTok. Well, nah, what are we talking about? Because it's not, TikTok ain't the only place your kid's gonna get fucked with, bro. Like, your kid's gonna get fucked with wherever the fuck your kid goes. So you need to teach your fucking kid how to fucking be smart. You need to teach your brother how to walk in a room full of adults and not let somebody pull him in a corner and give him a little drug to try. Oh, hey, what's up? Or some old girl, oh my God, these grown, creepy ass people, like the women would always be like, oh, you're so pretty, let me run my fingers. He knew, he'd be like, bro, get your fucking weird old ass away from me, lady. For real. Nah, you gotta teach people how to, I'm telling you. He was all cute and shit, long ass hair. These grown ass women be like, oh my God, you look just like Elvis. Antonio Banderas, come here. I'd be like, yo, bro, they tried to kidnap him when he was a kid. Multiple times. Sorry,
Okay,
not to bring your trauma stories up.
What is
but
going
my
on
point is, my point is parents have to instill what good behavior is in kids, because the only place they're gonna have predators is not on the internet. The world is full of predators because we live in a world of prey and predator. So at any given moment, you need to be a strong kid, but you need to understand what right is and what wrong is, because then anywhere you're at, you're gonna be able to identify what's not good. So cool, you could be on the internet, kid, but you could tell when someone's doing bad stuff for attention. And at the end of the day, what the internet still does, it is undefeated, is those videos where those guys go and like, they take the random guys who are working outside of Disneyland, inside of Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the videos that literally will bring tears to your eyes. So I don't give a fuck what any of the other content is.
What random guys at Disneyland?
So there's like these little guys on the internet, like my friends send me the videos. They're fucking fantastic. What they do is great. I mean, maybe they're swindlers and they're pocketing half the money, but whatever the fuck. Apparently they got these platforms where they like get their audience to like throw them money, and then they go around and they like bless regular common
like Mr.
folk.
Beast and those kind of guys.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that sort of stuff, that's a feel-good story. That feels good. You know, I think that's the good stuff with the internet.
But why is that a good thing? Why? Just people giving money just so you can get social media
No,
clout so you can
because
make more
I
money
think,
is a good thing?
Well, I do think they're culture vultures in a lot of ways because I do think they're still filming some bullshit. But I think the feel-goodness of it is the same reason why religious texts, stories feel good to hear. I think.
But isn't temporary
kindness-
feeling good bad for everybody?
No, I think kindness in action is good to witness.
Okay.
I think it's good to witness somebody, and like, okay, whatever. I don't know these guys, and they might not even be nice guys in real life. I don't know who the fuck they are. They might be wonderful human beings, right? But ultimately, it feels good to see somebody acknowledge the forgotten, the weak, the meek, and the ones that can't speak. It feels good to have those be protected. It feels good to see those people get hooked up. It feels good to see somebody who is struggling react to a blessing. You know, I think blessings feel good to witness. And I think some of it is a little creepy and a little like intrusive, but I'm sure those people agreed to be on camera in some way or whatever. And I'm sure then their own personal lives after that, you know, maybe for good or bad, then has some sort of like whatever attached to it. But I don't know, whatever. But really fuck the internet because get into real life. You know what I'm saying?
But listen to our show on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
We could wrap here. We're at an hour.
Meow. Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, the internet is a vibe, you know. So we like the internet. I think the internet is a good place to check out the Ranagade PerRana show powered by Shine and Jam with my Road Dog for Life America. And check us out. Subscribe to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Share it with your friends. Get somebody else more player too. Holla, holla, holla.
Holla.
Yeah.